Hello, this is a little intro before we dive into a map reading, so you'll have an idea of the context of this knowledge and what it is meant to give you. So before we start, human design is the science of differentiation. According to this knowledge, each of us has its own unique energetic form. The purpose of a human design map reading is to understand the nature of your life force and uniqueness, to learn about your two powerful navigation tools, strategy and inner authority. We'll get into them later. And to clarify the nature of your conditioning. I want you to take into account that a reading can be empowering, but it can also touch your wounds. I also want to ask you to pay attention while you are getting the knowledge. Does it resonate within you? If not, it is quite okay to put it aside for now. Maybe at a different time or with a different teacher, it will resonate. Or maybe not. Maybe you're into something else. This is the man that is the messenger and founder of human design. His name is Raoul Hu. He was born in Canada as Robert Allen Krakower. In 1987, he experienced a mystical encounter with what he calls the voice, in which the knowledge of human design was transmitted to him. He died at 2011. So, human design is quite a new knowledge, and it is spreading fastly throughout the world, probably because many people find it so accurate and practical, and it gives people a lot of clarity. This figure represents the energetic mechanics of a human being. Human design, in general, is a synthesis of four ancient sources which are presented in the body graph. So the first layer is the 9 colored shapes, which are 9 energy centers. Each of them represents certain energetic themes, and they are derived from the Hindu chakra system. The next layer is the numbers that are placed within the centers. There are 64 of them. They are called gates, and they are derived from the Chinese I Ching, the Book of Changes. In the Book of Changes, they are called hexagrams. The last layer are the lines. There are 36 lines that connect the centers by bridging 2 gates. Thus, the body graph can be seen as some kind of a circuit board in which those lines, which are called channels, represent the life force and the processes that the energy running in this circuit is designed to form. They are derived from the Hebrew Kabbalah. The fourth ancient source is astrology, and it is this source that linked the planetary system to the body graph through the zodiac wheel. Overlapping the zodiac wheel is the wheel of the hexagrams of the I Ching, or the wheel of the 64 gates, the same gates that are positioned in the body graph. The wheel of gates is called mandala. The gates are arranged on the wheel at a certain order. This order that links the gates of the body graph to the zodiac is one of the revelations of human design. So the planets evolve around the wheel, passing through the gates in the order of the mandala. At a certain timing, while a human fetus is formed and born, the gates in which each planet stays on are imprinted. In this way, the human being gets his unique design. Each planet imprints in the human the gate on which it stands at the moment of imprinting. And also, each gate has 6 lines, those little lines here. And the planet also stands not only in a certain gate, but also on a certain line, which is also imprinted. And actually, there are even subtler divisions beneath the level of the lines. So the imprinting is very specific. And where does this imprinting take place? Where is the information imprinted? The imprinting is formed on 2 mystical components called crystals. They're not biological elements and they cannot be detected by science as we know it today. But according to the mystical science of human design, each person has 2 crystals that are imprinted and carry the data of his or her design. Each of those crystals originate from a different place or a different dimension, if you please, and it carries a different kind of consciousness. And so, in fact, they are crystals of consciousness. And the 2 crystals are the personality crystal, which is accessible to our cognition, to our mental mind, and the body crystal, which is not accessible to our cognition. So this consciousness is actually a body consciousness and not a mind consciousness. They're imprinted at different points in time and thus have a different imprint because the planets move in the mandala. In these 2 columns, the imprinting of each crystal is shown. This is the imprinting of the personality crystal, each planet and the gate and line that it imprinted. And this is the column of the body crystal, the gate and line, each planet imprinted in this crystal. So this is the 43 and this is the 23, and they are colored in black because they come from the personality crystal. In fact, each crystal holds its own design, and their combination together forms the unique human being. This is why we are called a binary form. We have a binary consciousness. So this was a short explanation about basic elements and terms of human design. But what does human design do? How does it help in living the life? So this is what Ra Uru Hu says about this knowledge. Human design offers a mechanical understanding of the nature of being. With understanding comes a genuine revolution, the realignment of a life and the awakening of awareness. Human design offers a methodology uniquely tailored to your design that liberates you from not self-conditioning. It is called strategy and authority, and it is the catalyst of transformation. Imagine each of us has his life's trajectory, which is the course we make in space and time, including our relationships and our mental processes, and everything we go through from the minute we are born till the day we die. Human design suggests there is a path intended for each of us that will lead us to live ourselves with a sense of harmony and fulfillment. And if we get off our path, we will meet resistance. The question we are most interested in, naturally, is how to navigate our way to fulfillment. And this is the main question human design intends to answer. The first and most important insight of human design is that mind doesn't know the way, which means we are not intended to navigate our way intellectually. This is not a new concept. Many ancient cultures held in their wisdom the concept of the delusive mind that holds us in the illusion of separateness and suffering, such as Buddhist teaching or others. And yet, for the modern being, this is a revolutionary concept because we're trained to use our minds to calculate strategies and navigate the way. Our mind keeps being concerned with questions about our life, like, what should I do? What should I be? How should I please others? What would bring me wealth and fame? And how will I survive? How will I avoid my fears? So if the mind doesn't know the way, who does? And the answer is the body. The body knows the way. Just like animals navigate their movement with the wisdom of their body. But for us humans, there is a more specific way to be clear. We get two navigation tools that help us to attune to the body. And these are strategy and inner authority. Strategy is the way for the personality to stay on the track of fulfillment, and authority is a way for the body to make the right decisions. There are several specific strategies and authorities, and the one that is right for you is derived from your specific map and will be taught to you as a part of a map reading. Ra talks about the ride metaphor to explain the dilemma of decision making. In this metaphor, our life is compared to a ride. We are given a vehicle. The vehicle is our body. And the question is, who is the passenger and who is the driver? Most of us are used to think of their minds as the drivers. The mind is considered to be the smart one, the responsible adult. But human design says that the place of the personality together with the mind is in the back seat. And the real driver is actually another mystical element, which is called the magnetic monopole, which magnets our trajectory to our correct path. So in fact, if the mind doesn't disturb the process, we are magneted to our path. As I said before, human design is referred to as the science of differentiation. It offers us a personal reading, which is like a manual to our specific mechanism. It shows us the nature of our uniqueness. Our uniqueness is expressed through the energetic field, which is our aura. Each being has its own energetic field, and our aura expresses us, even without speaking. It interacts with other auras that get within the radius of our aura and determines the way we experience each other. Our uniqueness defines our part in the whole. The first layer of differentiation is the division to 4 aura types. This is just the first layer. Under this division, there is a whole bunch of more differentiation layers. And yet, the differentiation of the aura types is very substantial. The aura types defines the way this being is designed to move through life, his strategy, and also his basic part in the whole. The aura types groups are not even in size. The generator group is the vast majority. This does not mean that a person who is a generator is less unique, because every generator has its own special uniqueness. But generators are the majority because they generate the life force. And since we are on the planet of life, they are the main characters that generate the story of life. For a person who is a generator, the most important thing for his fulfillment is to find his unique way to work and express their energy. It's all about the energy, and only when it is used correctly, they will know true satisfaction. A specific map reading can help define the nature of each generator's unique life force. The other aura type, which are a minority, have special roles that in a way can be seen as supporting the life force. Projectors have the ability to sense the other and to give personal guidance. The next minority group, which consists of only 9% of the population, are manifestors. Manifestors have a great power of manifestation. They are here to impact. And the smallest minority group is the reflector aura type, which is less than 1% of the population. And they have a special sense of the whole and are here to reflect the state of the environment. Each type has its emotional signature, which corresponds to the nature of his role. When working correctly with his energy, his signature will radiate from within. But when not living correctly, he will experience the opposite of his natural signature. So when a generator is correct, he will radiate satisfaction. When a manifestor is correct, he will radiate inner peace. When a projector is correct, he will experience and radiate success. And when a reflector is correct, he would love to feel surprise and to radiate his awe. So the overall picture is that we are talking about an energetic ecosystem in which each one has its special place in the whole. Even the numerical ratio between the types is part of the ecosystem and is presenting the right balance between the types to maintain a healthy and sustainable ecosystem. Another important term of human design theory is the self and the not self. The self is our nature, and the not self is our conditioned behavior. The practical intention of human design is to give people the tools to find their true selves, which is often hidden from them by conditioning. Our personal body graph tells us a lot about the nature of our specific self, and also about the nature of our specific conditioning. Channels are referred to as the life force. They conduct the energy, just like electric cords conduct electricity. So the body graph can be seen as a circuit board. Defined centers maintain consistent energy, and they express themselves from the inside outwards. Open centers have inconsistent energy. They absorb from the outside inwards. So in the defined centers, there will be an expression of the self. And in the open centers, there will be vulnerability to the environment. And this is what Ra Uru Hu says concerning the open centers. The defined parts of your chart is you, the student. The open parts of your chart is where you go to school. If you're not careful, instead of learning in school, you are conditioned and overwhelmed. And this is a very important motto of human design. The acceptance of limitation is the first step in transcendence. And this principle is a key to what is learned in this school of the open centers. So finally, when you are given the knowledge of human design about your chart and know your two navigation tools, strategy, and authority, and also know the nature of yourself and not self. You then are ready to enter the experiment. Experiment is an important concept in human design. It represents the right state of mind when working with this knowledge. Although this knowledge is very complex and very mental, it is not intended to be theoretical, but rather practical. It gives a lot of space for self-inquiry and personal interpretation. There is also an important place for trial and error, and self-compassion is necessary when trying it out. The experiment is actually your daily life from the moment you get this knowledge. During the events of your day, you are invited to do nothing special, but being aware to what happens, the way you move, and the outcomes of your movement. Your personal experiment will enable you to explore using your two navigation tools, strategy and authority, observing and understanding the conditioning of your not self, paying attention to your signature and watching the course of your trajectory unfold. A last quote by Ra Uru Hu. Most important to recognize is that this is a knowledge to be experimented with. There is a way, but it can only be your way. Allow this work to guide and inform you, and then, if it is correct for you, enter into the most extraordinary journey of your life. So that was a short intro to the knowledge of human design. You will get deeper insight and specifications concerning yourself in your personal map reading. So long for now, and enjoy the ride.